What is going on, y'all?
Happy Saturday. Happy Halloween weekend.
Yep, it's about that time. Halloween candy, dipping into it already.
Dipping into it now. Going to dip it into it on November 1st when the discounts start hitting the grocery stores.
That's the time.
You already know. Get those 10-pound bag of M&Ms for $5. Not 10 pounds, but you know. It's just like severe discounts everywhere. It's like,
what's going on, Joller? What's going on, Marco? What's going on, Greg? What's going on, Patrick?
What's happening, everybody? Good to see you all. Anybody doing anything for Halloween? I think I have a block party to go to tonight, actually.
Well, you're celebrating or you're going to at least watch. They got a game tonight. The Phillies.
The Phillies. I'm doing a couple of things tonight. Yes, so yeah. I will be around until about 7:30 Eastern time. You know, depending on the traffic, I can stick around for a bit longer. But I'm not usually a baseball fan, but the Phillies are in the World Series, so I have plans to go out and watch them ahead of a little Halloween festivity. So it's going to be a fun night. But I will be out of here a little earlier than usual. What I can do, in place of live streaming during the London game tomorrow, I can, I'll hold like some office hours, so to speak, in our Discord. If anyone is around and wants to talk shop there.
No, but that's fun. That's exciting.
Yeah. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard all the ruckus down by Center City when they made the World Series.
Watching people climb the poles.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a fun time, and they won. So they won last night. So let's see what they can do tonight. But I'll be around. I mean, I was around a little while last night. I'll be around tomorrow morning during the London game. Exclusive on ESPN Plus, by the way. There you go, ESPN, a little free advertisement for you. So kind of like the Prime Overlords for Thursday Night Football. You need ESPN Plus to watch this game. So,
yep.
If I wasn't holding office hours, I otherwise might not wake up. But that is the plan for tomorrow.
All right, yeah. I'll be ready to go 10 a.m. Just like usual. But, Patrick, you're here for the nonsense. So am I.
We're ready to bring it.
We're ready to talk. Yeah, let's get into some questions, man.
Yeah, we can do that.
I guess the first question is Marco, you for my flex, Eno, Devonta Smith, or Boyd. Well, James Conner's coming back, so I don't think you can play Eno.
No, Conner was ruled out, wasn't he?
Was he ruled out?
I think he was. Pretty sure he was. Yeah. Conner's out with the rib injury. He won't play. So, I mean, Eno's going to get the full workload.
It's him or Boyd, though. No Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Boyd just keeps popping off.
They're all really good options, to be honest.
Who are your wide receivers?
Smith has the best matchup of this group. He's at home against Pittsburgh.
Put your whole starting lineup in.
They're awful against just entire passing games.
Yeah.
The Steelers are. I don't want to totally rule out Devontae here.
Put your whole lineup in and we'll help you make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark Maloney, Sutton, or Boyd? I'm going Boyd.
I guess I'll go Boyd. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of level of confidence coming back for Sutton with Russ playing. And it's possible. This actually reminded me, this is something I wanted to bring up. And I might say a couple of times over the course of while I'm here. Be mindful of guys, just be aware of names who are currently swirling in trade rumors. So like your look, we saw what happened with James Robinson last week, right? I don't think the Jags knew that they were trading James Robinson to the Jets per se, but they clearly were shopping him in general. He got one target, even though he was active and healthy and not on the injury report. They gave Travis Etienne all the work. 2 days later, unfortunately, as a result of the Breece Hall injury, James Robinson gets traded to the Jets. I wouldn't rule out seeing things like this for Jerry Jeudy, Brandon Cooks. I
haven't heard Jerry Judy's name thrown out there, so that's interesting. I've heard Brandon Cooks, obviously, and
apparently the Giants are interested in I don't know how likely it is. We're talking about a former first-round pick from not too long ago. So that could be a boost.
But the president has been set with Kadarius Toney already, so we do have that.
Right. Yeah. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of those situations this weekend. Like Nico Collins already ruled out. Chris Moore might be a good not good, but a random dart throw desperation play at wide receiver.
Yep.
Just, out of necessity. If you play DFS.
And it's, Dameon Pierce all day. 30 touch Dameon Pierce game?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yep.
Boyd is fine, but I will just caution, or I will say, Sutton might be in a situation tomorrow where he's been a little bit more consistent than Jeudy has with Russ in the lineup. Russ is back, and Judy's name is being mentioned in trade rumors, so it's not so crazy to be concerned about how much playing time Jeudy gets tomorrow. That could mean more work for Sutton. That being said, Boyd, with no Jamar Chase, is probably a fine floor play.
Yeah.
Safe floor play with upside to be a wide receiver too.
And Joller, what do you think of Khalil Herbert this week and overall this season? This week, he's going up against the defense that's giving up the least fantasy points to opposing running backs. In the Dallas Cowboys, 15 fantasy points to opposing running backs on a game-to-game basis. So they're not giving up a ton of points. So as tough a matchup as you can get from a fantasy perspective and just an overall production perspective. But since he is the guy that's kind of used in the pass game on the goal line, is the explosive one here, the Tony Pollard can go off on any given play type of person. He's still an RB3, but he's a lower end RB3 versus a high end RB3 flex option. Because I think he's worked his way into flex option territory pretty much weekly.
Yeah.
You talk about rest of season, I think that's what his value is.
Yeah. He will be flexible most weeks, probably including this week, depending on your options. If you're dealing with some injuries, do you have, if you might have a roster of, Mike Williams, Marquise Brown, Darren Waller, and J.K. Dobbins. So, like, if you're decimated, then sure, fire him up. Ideally, you have some safer options to pivot to, but the Bears might want to run their offense a lot like the Falcons have been, which is we're just going to run the ball as much as we can. They did that against the Patriots in a bad matchup. And it worked out well for them.
That's what they've been doing all season.
Yeah, they might want to continue that even in bad matchups. So
Yep.
Herbert could be fine tomorrow. Bad matchups by the numbers.
Yeah. Mark Maloney, Mostert or ETN? ETN.
ETN, he's got the backfield to himself now, and it's a talent. It's a talent discrepancy.
Yep.
Mostert could potentially be splitting with. It's a great matchup for Mostert. I don't think it could get any better than the Lions. And he should be fine, but Edmonds is there. I want the guy who's going to get all the work, and it's just the more talented player. Mostert floor, ETN ceiling, but I want to play ETN.
And Official McLovin, Stevenson or Devonta Smith. I really like Devonta Smith pretty much every week, but if I have to choose between those two, I'm going Stevenson, man.
It is a tough. So again, by the numbers, it's a tough matchup for Stevenson going against the Jets. They've actually been pretty good.
But didn't he get like
backs.
8 catches last week? Like the guy,
yeah.
he's
kind
of bulletproof.
Like the white roll.
Right.
Yeah, you want to now. Damian Harris didn't play a ton last week, but just, retroactively, it kind of makes sense. It was his first game back from the injury. So you don't expect Harris to only end up with 4 total touches. That being said, this is more Ramondre's backfield now than it's ever been. I would just caution that Harris is probably going to get more than 4 touches.
Yes.
In his second game back, not first game back. So, something to consider.
And Xavier, what's happening, man?
What's up, Xavier?
Tunyon or Schultz this week, man? I'm going Tunyon. They have no wide receivers. They're starting Sammy Watkins as their number 1 wide receiver right now. Alan Lazard is out. It's a Robert Tunyon week.
Is it an anybody week up there for the Packers against the Bills?
Yeah, but Robert Tunyon is still number 1 on my list. I still think he's going to break out at some point this season. And I think this could be the game because they have no other choice.
Schultz is also actually on the injury report.
That doesn't factor in for me, but that just...
he's questionable, so that
just puts it even more in Tunyon's favor.
No, I think I agree.
Yeah.
It just, I'm a little worried that this could be like... This has the makings potentially of being like one of Aaron Rodgers' like worst games as a Packer. Like, it's got those vibes. Now, obviously, we've seen weird things happen in the NFL all the time, and teams, when they have their back against the wall and everyone's counting them out, we see them usually exceed expectations. Not usually, but it's not uncommon to see that in those situations, teams exceed expectations. But man, yeah, there's just so little that he has going for him in that offense. But yeah, Tunyon, he's at least healthy. Schultz is on the injury report and hasn't really done a whole lot this year.
Yeah, he's been on the injury report all season. That's why. It's not because he hasn't been out there and hasn't been able to produce.
Yeah.
He's just been on the injury report all year.
Yeah.
All right, Greg. He says, let's go Phillies. You have a small
Yes, sir,
problem.
Greg,
Cooks is questionable, and if I need to pivot, do you guys like Mooney, Slayton, Zay Jones, Garrett Wilson, or Pitts?
First of all, I think it's not a bad idea to plan to pivot off of Cooks. That could be a smokescreen for him to not play a lot this week. I can't sit here definitively and say like the guys whose names are involved in the trade rumors could assume they're all not going to play. We don't know, but the fact that the Texans went out of their way to slap an injury tag on Cooks after practicing in full this week is a little suspicious to me.
Yeah. Yep.
Practiced in full all week, but he's questionable with a wrist injury that kind of came out of nowhere. I would be a little bit cautious with Cooks. I actually am in a situation where I did pivot to Mooney in this very situation. I don't feel great about it, but Mooney is kind of a watered down version of Cooks. So if I'm taking a shot on like one big play, then I might as well go to at least I know it's his team's wide receiver 1.
The only other guy that I'd go to here is maybe Garrett Wilson this week because we've seen Elijah Moore having problems integrating into this new offense, being taken out of the whole game plan altogether last week. I think he comes back in because they're without Corey Davis this week too. Have we heard any positive news on that situation, or is Corey Davis still out?
He's out.
Right. So could be a Garrett Wilson week.
Yeah.
But I'd go Mooney over Garrett Wilson.
At least you know the Bears are going to have to throw a little bit in this game.
That hasn't mattered in the past, but we'll see.
Well,
we'll see.
I'll take the game script. See what happens.
At the end of the day, so will I.
Maybe he catches a 40-yard pass. Who knows?
Alex, you just stashed, you're glad you stashed Willis in the face mask league. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens now, man, with Willis and Tannehill. Because back-to-back missed practices, right? Malik Willis is in line to start.
Is that the case for Tanny?
Yeah. We'll get to see Malik Willis's first start.
He's already been ruled out. Tannehill's
interesting.
Already been ruled out. Oh, there you go.
Cool.
I mean, not cool for Tannehill, but
no,
good for
it's
Willis.
just cool, just because we get to see Malik Willis.
Yeah, we get to see him. See what he can do.
Yep. Marco, Cousins, Lenny, Pollard, Cup, Lamb, Devonta Smith, suck up Eagles, okay, Herbert,
yeah,
All right, got you.
Yeah, got it. I mean, you've got a lot of really safe plays. I guess I don't know. Eno's probably the play without Connor. I mean, he had a. Cardinals are playing the Vikings on the road. Okay, that's kind of a tough matchup. Not by the numbers, but just like situationally. Because he's on the road, I trust him a little less, And actually, the proof is in the pudding in regard to that. He has, by the numbers, played much better at home this year than he has on the road, even in his solo opportunities. He's been better at home than on the road. He's on the road this week. So I'm going to rule Eno out, actually. I think Boyd is like a safe wide receiver 2. Devontae Smith is maybe like an upside wide receiver 2 with a lower floor, depending on what you need. But one of the wide receivers.
I would agree. And to the other question, I would go Hurst, but he is playing a defense that stifles tight ends. So you have to keep that in mind. Freiermuth actually has the slightly better matchup against the Eagles. You would think he wouldn't, but he does. Slightly better matchup, but I'm still going Hurst here with no Jamar Chase.
I would go Irv Smith. He's playing Arizona. That's it.
I'm not going there. I'd rather go Hurst.
Yeah. I kind of like Irv Smith's upside against Arizona, just because Arizona is terrible against tight ends.
He's not far behind for me, but sticking to my guns here.
All right.
So we're split. Like I'm going Hurst because I know Jamar Chase, and Nick is going over Smith. And Greg Z, no Paris Campbell. That's fine.
Nah, dude, I would go with Mooney, Greg. I would go with Mooney.
Until I see Sam Ehlinger on the field and see what he brings to this offense and who he utilizes, the only people that I'm trusting at all are Michael Pittman and JT. And Michael Pittman is a little shaky right now, too. Because there's so much unknown with Sam Ehlinger. Jonathan Miles, you got Carr, Kamara, Stevenson, Kupp, Hill, Higbee, Higgins. Rest of my wide receivers are Pickens, Kirk, Thomas. Should I trade a wide receiver for a backup running back? All I got is Foreman and Darrell Henderson.
No, because those are good backup running backs.
Yeah, rest of season. Foreman's the rest of season on RB2 at least.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you have Kupp, Hill, and Higgins. If you want to try to trade Pickens for a running or for like a depth RB, then sure, fine. But also, you don't have to if you don't want to. Like,
yeah,
there's good options there. Foreman, Chuba Hubbard is out this week. Like, Foreman can be fired up, and Henderson, you wait and see until Tuesday to see if the Rams make a move to add to their backfield, and they very well still could, but Henderson's going to retain value. I mean, obviously you're rooting for him to remain the guy, but he's going to retain value even if they add somebody. You're fine with what you have.
And DJ Duvernay, thoughts on my matchup this week? Full PPR: Lamar, Barkley, ETN, Diggs, AJ Brown, Ingram, Hopkins, flex versus Josh Allen, Dalvin, Swift, Higgins, Godwin, Bryant at tight end, and Stevenson in the flex. Who wins? I mean, we'll see on Sunday who wins, but I like your squad.
I mean, I guess I like the Lamar side. I would say is the favorite.
Is there any way you can get off of playing Evan Ingram?
Yeah.
Is there a Hurst on the wire? Is there like who else do you got at tight end? Because I don't like Ingram.
Yeah.
But the rest of your lineup looks good, man.
Yep.
And Jolly, you're trying to trade Aaron Jones and a first for Eckler in Dynasty. You have Herbert Robinson and Dameon Pierce.
I mean, sure. I mean, you could try. See if they go for it. It's not a bad offer.
But just realize you're trading a 27-year-old running back for a 27-year-old running back.
And a first-round pick.
Right. Do you want to, like, how... I don't know.
If you're the top team this year, then sure, fine.
Yes.
Like, if you're just solidifying what you think is a minimum top 3 squad for a run this year, then sure, fine. But, yeah, it's an aging back for an aging back.
Yeah. Tim Shields start 2, Eno, Carter, Brian Robinson, Montgomery, Herbert, and J-Rob. Well, Eno...
I would go Eno, and I guess
Carter.
I would go Carter, just because Robinson just got there. I would think, he got acquired earlier in the week than, say, like Christian McCaffrey did by the 49ers, but we saw you had to fire up Christian McCaffrey, and I stand by that, but I think he only played like 30% of the snaps. So if James Robinson gets, maybe say he gets 40% of the snaps, that's still a 1A situation for Carter.
Yes.
At worst, I think, at least for this week.
Now, if you want to just go with the floor option, that's Montgomery. But if you're looking for the ceiling option here, Michael Carter at RB2, and you're playing, Eno Benjamin this week. MT, I got Juju Smith-Schuster, Runabay.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. No. Can you stick in Allen Robinson? You have a good feeling about him. Has he been dependable lately?
No. I mean, no. I mean, he had a nice game last week.
I mean, keep playing Juju Smith-Schuster. Just know that he has a lesser ceiling now that Kadarius Toney is in play.
Also, I think did that autocorrect to on a bye? Juju's on bye.
Oh.
Did that autocorrect to on
right.
to like yeah. So Schuster's
Schuster's
on a week 8 run a bay.
There are worse
I mean, he's a warm
villains,
body,
but
guess.
yeah.
But also remember,
if you
Van
have
Jefferson is back. So
and Tutu Atwell has been getting more play, and they want to trade for somebody.
Well, that's not a problem this week. But
yeah, but it's getting so bad there they want to trade for somebody, even though they just brought in Allen Robinson to fix this issue.
Mm-hmm.
So Allen Robinson isn't the answer, but he's the answer for you this week. Xavier Dubs, Jameson Williams worth dropping? I mean, why not
redraft?
Why not just keep him?
I mean, well, you could if you need the
on your IR spot. Why not just keep him unless you need the IR? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What's the motivation there? Are you just dropping
another
because
guy? Like if you have Hollywood, if you have Dobbins, like if you have a guy who if you have a name that you expect to be a little bit more dependable, who you need to throw on IR, then sure, do it.
The question is,
might not see him.
The question is, Xavier's not going to play him over D-Hop, Pittman, Godwin, and A-Rob, which is true. Well, so can you package him for and a running back on your squad for a better running back?
Sure.
That's what I'd be trying to do.
Yeah. Trade him on the appeal of potential.
Yep. Anthony Garcia starts Stevenson or Waddle or Gabe Davis in my flex. That's a decision.
Waddle. I think it's got to. I mean, Tua's back. Waddle's I think a top 8 wide receiver on the year so far. If it's half or full PPR, it's got to be Waddle. Actually, even if it's half PPR, Stevenson's got an argument. But I think I got to go with a top 10 wide receiver on the season.
Waddle, and who are your running backs? Because I'm trying to start Stevenson.
Yeah.
George Cook, Jets D or Jags D, also Dulcich or Gesicki. Dulcich,
My camera just turned off?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I'm back.
You're back.
It fixed itself. Stupid.
Jets D or Jags D?
I mean, the Jets are playing the Patriots. There's nothing scary about that offense right now. Jacksonville's playing Denver. Russ is back in the lineup. I don't know if that's a good thing for the Broncos or not. Here's the thing about Jacksonville. Like, they have been so quiet recently with some decent matchups on the schedule. They've allowed at least 20 points 3 of their past 4 games, and 2 of those
playing
games,
the Jags.
29 and 34.
I'm playing the Jags.
They have 2 sacks or fewer in every game this year. Like, they popped off early.
Or no, the Jets are at home. That's enticing.
I'm playing the Jets. I think I'm playing the Jets.
Yeah.
I just don't trust Jacksonville. I don't think they're as good as like the early season numbers indicate. I know it's Denver.
Now that I see Jets at home.
Jets at home against the Patriots.
They can key in on a quarterback because nobody knows. The coaching staff doesn't even know what they're doing there. So, like,
they can key in on the run game and
see
if Mac Jones can do anything through the air against them.
Or Zappy can. They might be seeing Zappy again by halftime.
I think I would. Yeah, I would go with the Jets.
And Patrick Haas, you're going against Kirk Cousins. You have Jefferson already. He has Thielen. Ertz or Smith? Ertz.
You have to play Ertz. You just
tier break, man.
Tight end 4.
Tight end 3.
You just have to play Ertz. I see why you are asking.
And Ethan John, trade Lenny for Kenneth Walker right now. Do it.
Yeah, do that, Ethan.
Do it.
Yes.
Do
Smash
it.
Accept. And real quick, George Cook is like, who else is on the wire? I don't want to play Dulcich or Gesicki.
But out of those two, I'd play Dulcich.
I guess.
He's been good the last 2 weeks.
Well, he caught the touchdown on the broken play. What did he do last week? That was with Ripien.
Yeah. He was one of Ripien's main targets.
Oh, yeah, he was. 9 targets, 6 catches, 51 yards. Yeah, I guess you could fire up Dulcich.
Back-to-back 10-point weeks. That's what you want from a tight end. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good is it a good matchup by the numbers? It's not, but like if he's playing well, then he's playing well.
We always wanted the tight end here.
Yeah. It was just everybody had the wrong guy.
Yeah, in Denver, we always wanted the tight end there. We thought it was Alberto, and we were wrong.
Yeah.
But Ethan John, definitely trade Lenny for Kenneth Walker.
Yes,
yesterday.
Kenneth Walker.
Do it right now. Yep.
He's in every lineup until further notice.
Is Chase Edmonds worth picking up off of waivers?
Who are you dropping?
Jay Will.
Then sure.
Yeah. What's your running back core look like?
Sure.
Why not? Alex Contreras, start 2 at wide receiver, 1 in the flex. Waddle, Olave, Devonta Smith, Ayuk, Eno, Benjamin, Pitts. Waddle and Olave at the wide receivers.
Yeah.
And then
I'll
flex,
I'll go Devontae Smith. Oh, I know.
Over Eno.
Eno doesn't have.
All right.
Yeah, because we had that. I was trying to do process of elimination for the Eno, Devontae, Boyd question earlier, and it comes to, like, I guess the trend is Eno's on the road this week, and you can look at the numbers. He's been better at home than on the road this year, even when he's gotten the lion's share of work. He's playing better at home.
Minnesota's
and
like middle of the pack with opposing
I'm gonna play Devontae Smith.
Running backs.
Steelers are bottom 3 against all passing offense, like quarterbacks and wide receivers. They are terrible.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I think they got a slew of. I'm pretty sure they're really banged up. And the
play
Eagles
those wide receivers.
Their bye week. Yeah, I would go. Yeah, the Waddle, Olave, Devontae Smith, Alex. That's what I'm doing.
So October 24, you have Higbee. Should you drop Schultz and pick up AJ Dillon? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can't play AJ Dillon right now. He's unusable, but I still think he's worth a roster spot.
Yes, I do too. Because at worst, he's Alexander Madison. It's not what you were hoping for at the beginning of the year, but at worst, he's a handcuff worth having.
Right. But if he is Alexander Madison, then he is the most valuable insurance policy at the position.
He's a better, younger Alexander Madison.
Yeah. It's not what we wanted when we drafted him, but there's still value there.
Yep. And Greg Z, close out the question. You realize you have Drake London on your bench. Mooney over London? Yes.
Yeah, they're not
throwing the ball.
The Falcons, they showed their stripes last week. They were down 3 scores, and they threw the ball 13 times for the game. They are going to run the ball at the end, and it's going to come at the expense of Drake London and Kyle Pitts getting consistent, reliable work. I'm not dropping either one of them, but I can't play either one right now.
Nope. And MJ23, Olave, Mostert, or Thielen? Olave,
man.
For the rest of the
looks
year.
Like the truth.
For the rest of the year, man.
Yeah, and Michael Thomas and Landry are out once again. He's a layup for 10 targets. That's his floor. Or let's say 8 targets is his floor still. And he's doing the most with the work he's getting. Olave looks great. He looks awesome.
Yep. And Bambo, do I start Elijah Moore or Greg Dulcich? Elijah Moore.
Dulcich. There's no reason to trust Elijah Moore right now.
No Corey Davis. They're gonna need to throw somebody. No tight end has really stuck out there in recent weeks. I mean, we saw Ty Conklin explode with Joe Flacco, but when's the last time you heard Ty Conklin's name?
Through 3 weeks, I think he was like the tight end 3, and since then it's been like what happened to Ty Conklin.
A squeaky wheel. Like, if it doesn't happen this week for Elijah Moore, then I'm off him completely. But maybe we get some squeaky wheel treatment here.
Like, I got a situation where I'm playing Chase Claypool over Elijah Moore. Like, guys that I don't feel great about this at all, but like I don't feel good about Elijah Moore even a little bit at the moment. He's given us nothing, and I know Davis is out. The other thing is Zach Wilson, I think, has thrown for less than 200 yards passing 2 of the past 2 weeks. That might change a little bit now that Breece Hall's not there, but I think they want to run the ball. They want to, Wilson's is not putting up the passing numbers that, at least on paper, look to be favorable to support anybody consistently in this offense as far as the pass catchers go. I can't trust Elijah Moore right now. If he pops, so be it.
Safe option, Greg Dulcich. If you want to play it risky and believe in that squeaky wheel narrative,
sure, shoot
Elijah Moore. Xavier Dobbs, Akers can go on IR, but can I drop him for Edmonds? Akers is on IR right now. I'm not really expecting Akers to come back, man, and I don't think he's going to be a very sought after commodity.
No. What backfield is he entering where you say to yourself, "Oh, I feel good about this"? And I hate to do this. This isn't personal, but it's more an indictment, I think, right now. And we don't know where Akers is. We can only speculate that. Yeah, the only spot is has really taken
Denver, and even then, that's a temporary situation.
And I don't. Then he's splitting work with Melvin Gordon and Latavius Murray, and that's a bad offense right now anyway.
Yep.
I would hate that for all 3 of those guys.
So yeah, I think you can drop him in redraft. Drop him for Edmonds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
Drop J. Will for Edmonds, not Akers. Might be. I mean, you can do either, but I would trade J. Will because he still has value.
Yeah,
I don't think Akers. I don't think Akers has value.
I don't think so.
And DJ Duvernay, I like Juwan Johnson this week, but his rumors were he was a little banged up too.
He is on the Thursday add to the injury report with a hamstring. So
maybe it's just a Taysom Hill week, man.
It could be.
I would go Taysom Hill over Ingram. The upside that he presents, I would go Taysom Hill over Ingram.
would you go Knox? He's at home. Just caught a touchdown against Kansas City week 6. It's not a good matchup by the numbers, but I don't really care about that when it comes to the Bills.
No. Hill.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. If with Troutman is, I think, already out. If Jawan Johnson is ruled out or is just limited in the game because of the hamstring injury, Troutman is also questionable for what it's worth. So he hasn't been ruled out, but from what I had seen, I think it would be a bit of a surprise if he played. But we'll see here. So yeah. I guess keep an eye on it. If Jawan and or Troutman are ruled out, then Hill. If for whatever reason all 3 of them are active, I would be fine pivoting to Knox.
And I know Evan Ingram's been getting targets, but I mean, what's he been doing with them? Which is what we have been able to say for Evan Ingram for his entire career. Mm-hmm. Nothing has changed. So Val's the GOAT. Should I drop Knox and Hurst for Hurst and Reynolds for Algier?
Yeah, that I would do. Hurst has been solid. Jamar Chase is gone for a minimum of 3 weeks. They didn't put him on IR, but they seem to be. I think that would indicate they're optimistic he could return sooner than later.
And Algier is, I mean, he is the type of running back that at best is going to get you 60 yards and a touchdown. But that's still 60 yards and a touchdown, a third of the weeks.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I'm fine with both of those moves. Grabbing both of those. Yep. I'm good with that.
Sergio Martinez, who to play? Miles Sanders or Donta Foreman? It's actually tough this week because Donta Foreman is all alone in that backfield.
Yeah. I think it's got to be Sanders, though. Like, go with the guy who's been really consistent this year.
It is very close. But, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
What are the matchups for those two?
P. Diddy's been a member.
Pittsburgh and ATL. What's going on, P. Diddy?
We got something down here. He's been a member for 6 months.
Yo, all right. Respect, man.
Congrats, P. Diddy. Appreciate the channel support.
Yeah.
Is Traquan Smith a good play this week? Decent dart throw. I mean, no Michael Thomas, no Jarvis Landry once again. Saints are playing the Raiders, right? Where is that game? Is that in the Dome? And he had a good game last week on Thursday night. It's at home. Vegas is not, Vegas, there's nothing scary about the Vegas matchup. The past 2 weeks, Traquan Smith, 6 targets, 5 catches for 59 yards. That's pretty good. And then the previous week, only 3 targets, but he caught all 3 of them for 43 yards and a score. Vegas can score, right? Vegas has got a solid offense. So, sure. I mean, it's a dart throw. It's a dart throw.
I'm hoping you have better options to go to, but if you need a dart throw, boom bust wide receiver 4, then sure.
Yeah. I mean, he's giving you wide receiver 3 weeks the past couple of weeks. He has never been a bill of consistency, Traquan Smith. So, take the recent good production with a bit of a grain of salt, but the opportunity is obviously right there with them down multiple starters. It's Olave. And then, I guess it could be, and I guess also with the tight ends being banged up too, the wide receivers could see extra work. It's just a matter of, is it a week where Marquez Callaway does his thing, or if it's Traquan Smith? Because Olave is already commanding like a minimum of the minimum 30% target share in this offense, and Kamara is probably, picking up another 15 to 20% himself. So there's a little bit of chance involved here with a player like Traquan Smith, but the opportunity is right there for him. So if that's how deep, the situation goes as far as your options.
Yeah.
So, but appreciate it, P. Diddy. Appreciate the channel support.
Absolutely, man.
For these past few months. Love having you on board. And all of our members, of course.
But 6 months, man. Cool.
Pretty
cool to see. Cool to see.
Pretty cool. That thing's that badge is gonna turn red somewhat soon.
And Sheldon Bright, Should I start Swift or Ramondre full PPR? It's tough. Ramondre's been so good, but I mean, it's Swift and he's fully healthy.
Yeah, Swift.
So I think it's
full
Swift.
injury reports.
I think it's
or
Swift,
full practice. But yeah, full practices all week.
But who are your running backs that you're making that decision?
Yeah, but I think I would go Swift. Just to finish off Sergio's question, I would play Sanders. Just go with the proven guy. At home, Eagles are coming off their bye week. They run the ball better than almost everybody.
Yeah,
I would go Sanders. And then I think we might have missed the Titans or Jets question from Bam.
No, we already got that one earlier above.
We did?
Yep.
It was Jets or Jags recently, and then Titans or Jets. I would still say Jets. If you're leaning the Jets, go the Jets. And Jets. I agree. They're just the Patriots are an offense to target right now. Houston is too, but the Patriots stink.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Bambo. But yeah, Jets D.
And they're at home. Tennessee, for what it's worth, is on the road.
And Jonathan Miles, thanks for joining us. Another league, wide receiver. Higgins, Gabe Davis, Metcalf, Pickens, Kirk. B-Hall is out. All I have is Eckler and Swift. What would be a good wide receiver to flip for another running back too?
Pickens. You have your anchors in Higgins, Gabe, and Metcalf. Pickens is that guy as well. He should be able to get you an RB2 because you also have
with the way
Kirk.
That he's been performing lately.
Yeah, you should be able to get an RB2. Kirk's not going to get you that right now. His numbers have been. Kirk had a solid game last week, but I think he had a couple weeks in a row where he didn't do that much. I don't know that his name necessarily gets you as good of a running back as you would hope for. Pickens will, I think, get you a stronger name.
Now, if you wanted to go all out and do something crazy, would you entertain Higgins because of the haul that you can get for him right now?
You could, but I need one of the best running backs in fantasy.
Yeah, I'm thinking, something close to that and a wide receiver to help your depth.
Yeah.
If you want to go crazy and do a trade with like that, something to entertain. But at the end of the day, I'm cool with shipping Pickens. Yep. New Jerusalem, what's happening?
What's up, New Jerusalem? Thanks for coming in.
And the Joker, good to see you. Full PPR, Romeo Dubs, Paris Campbell, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Elijah Moore, and Marquise Goodwin. Marquise touchdown Goodwin.
Yeah.
Isn't he already hurt though?
No, I don't think so. Well,
that's
the status
the joke.
Of the stat. Yeah, very, very fair enough. The status of DK and Tyler Lockett. I think they're both questionable.
If I'm making the choice between,
is, I think, unlikely to play.
If I'm making the choice between those guys, it's Donovan Peoples-Jones if I want to play it safe. He does present a little bit of upside too, but if I'm looking for the boom game, I'm going back to Marquise Goodwin.
Yeah,
but just know that he can disappear on you too.
He could give you 0. I think I kind of like and they're going up against the Giants. That's a tough matchup by the numbers. I kind of like Donovan Peoples-Jones Monday night against the Bengals in a game where the Browns might have to try to keep pace with the Bengals.
Yep.
I kind of like Donovan Peoples-Jones of that group.
And New Jerusalem, Chase Edmonds or Terrace Marshall in the flex full PPR.
Marshall had a nice game.
What did he do last week?
Or by his expectations anyway. Which are obviously on the lower end. He did work 2 catches for 31 yards. That's a season high.
Oh, what? Good for
Edmonds,
him.
I guess, in a great matchup. I think both of these players.
Edmonds, but I'm looking elsewhere too.
Yeah, both of these players' floors are 0, but I guess I'll play the running back in the spectacular matchup. Actually, Marshall's in a great matchup too. It's just
can't trust him.
31 yards is a season high for him.
Yeah.
At least Edmonds has had like 1 or 2 serviceable weeks.
And Mark DeSilva, Damian Pierce this week.
Yeah, it's got to be Pierce.
Yep, even in full PPR.
Yeah, I mean when it's down to the fact that we've never seen Sam Ehlinger in an NFL game. Yeah. So, and Pierce might get 25 touches. Nico Collins is out. Brandon Cooks is questionable with trade rumors. This could be a 25 touch game for Dameon Pierce.
And Bambo, I think I'm still playing Dulcich. I got talked into it, man.
Yeah. I just don't trust Elijah Moore right now. At least
the only other option there that I'd go to is maybe a Marvin Jones, because he can still give you wide receiver 3, on a 12-point week.
Yeah.
But your choice there. Val's the GOAT. I'm saying this week.
Oh, Reynolds or Algier.
Algier, what are we saying about the Falcons? That they're running the ball. So play the running back.
Right. They love.
We don't love it, but play the running back. If all they're doing is running the ball.
Yeah, I mean, 16 carries the past 2 weeks, or 16 carries last week, 15 carries the week before, 13 carries the week before that, and 11 total touches the week before that. So he's got a double-digit touch floor the past month, Algier does, and there's nothing scary about this matchup against the Panthers.
Yep.
Yeah, I would just go Algier.
Richie Rich, start 1, full PPR, Carter, Najee, or Herbert? Is it Carter?
It might be Carter.
Oh, man.
Najee's going against the Eagles. The Eagles
It's Carter. Remember when Najee was the dynasty RB2?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. By the numbers, it's actually like Philly's actually kind of close to the middle of the pack as far as rushing, like as far as fantasy rushing production allowed.
Yeah, but he could just get taken out of the game script wise.
Yeah. Let's put it this way: if you feel like you're a big favorite and you can play it safe, then Najee. If it's anything like and you just need you need 10 points, 8 to 10 points. Najee can give you 8 to 10 points.
No, will give you 8 to 10 points.
Yeah. But if you think you could use anything more, if you're like, I need 12 to 15 points, then I would say Carter. Carter's floor might be lower, but his ceiling is higher.
Bambo, I don't know why you don't start McKenzie. Start Marvin Jones.
Oof. I guess so. Or do you just play Elijah Moore?
No, I like Marvin Jones.
Yeah, that might be a tier break that I'm willing to say, like, all right, try more, but
it's close. I mean, safe option. There we go. All right, then it's your risk tolerance, but it's one of the 2 wide receivers there.
Yeah,
it's not McKenzie.
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
He's hard to trust.
So Marvin Jones if you want to play it safe, and Elijah Moore if you're willing to risk it for a little bit higher upside. Mark Da Silva, CMC or Chubb rest of season? Chubb. I love CMC's upside, man, but and I don't expect last week's point totals pretty much at all moving forward. But it could happen again. Chubb, we might see his running mate and Kareem Hunt get shipped out of town. Even if that doesn't happen, he's still a top 2 running back. Mm-hmm. Chubb. People were ready to say, and it is only one game, but we were ready to crown CMC RB1 before we saw anything. I got to see it before I put him ahead of Chubb, who has been a top 2 running back on the year.
Yeah, I think I got to say McCaffrey. Just because of the investment that team made to get him. And this was a blip on the radar as far as, I don't expect this to be a committee. They acquired Christian McCaffrey to be Christian McCaffrey for them. I would roll the dice on. I would roll the dice on the steep investment the 49ers made, and we like them as a spot, as an offense for running backs anyway. And when you add one of the most dynamic options at the position, it's I would have to throw my weight behind that guy.
I mean, I just can't go away from Nick Chubb, who's been the fantasy RB1.
He's been awesome.
In standard and in PPR, it's RB3. While having in week 6 a 7-point week, 8 points and half PPR, still has been able to put up RB1 top 3 running back points, and that's on like 50 to 55% of snaps. And like that's 20 to 25 points a week. Book it. And if Kareem Hunt ever does get shipped out of town, his ceiling's what? Is he getting you 30 points a week?
He's getting you 22, 23 on average with 30 burgers like every
man. So and that upside is what we are hoping for CMC. In a different way. I just think Nick Chubb having a floor of 20 points, what
if the 49ers trade Jeff Wilson? I don't know what they get for him, but
well, in that case, then I'll reevaluate again. But right now, I'm saying Nick Chubb.
Yeah, all right. I think I say McCaffrey. We're split.
But good question. Good question.
Yeah, no, it's a fun topic to talk about where you can make the case for either one, and you're probably saying plenty of things that are correct and fair.
And Richie Rich, start 2 full PPR. Sutton
and Thielen.
Yeah, the first two.
The first two. I'll roll Sutton gets Russ back, and it was a bad week for Sutton last week, but he's been better with Russ in there. So Sutton, and I'll take Thielen at home in a 1:00 game for old midday Kirky.
And Kenneth Lee, who's your quarterback now then? If you're gonna trade Hurts.
Yeah.
That's what it hinges on right now.
Do you have a guy Yeah.
Because I do like the return to a certain extent. I would hope that you would get more than Brian Robinson though. But that's just again me.
I'm on Roz good.
Maybe not being the biggest fan of his. I think he has Algier-like upside. I think you're hoping for 60 to 70 yards and a touchdown. I don't think he has that 2-touchdown, multiple week catching passes. Obviously, I don't think he has that upside.
Yeah.
So I want to shoot for a little bit higher than Brian Robinson. But who's your quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jonathan Miles, is Mike Thomas worth a keep on a roster?
Depends on how large your rosters are. I mean, he's a wide receiver he's the Bengals wide receiver 3 for the next 3 weeks or so. For
is that
fantasy,
Mike Thomas
he's a wide
or Michael
receiver.
Thomas?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Is that Bengals?
If it's Michael Thomas, then yes. Again, if you can hold him on your roster, remember what he did week 1, 2 touchdowns, had a wide receiver 1 week. That's what he can do when healthy. So if you can keep him on your roster, sure. If you can keep him on your roster like you're keeping a Jameson Williams on your roster, sure. But is it a necessity if you're really trying to compete and you just need the roster spot to compete? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it's Mike Thomas,
he's a wide
continue
receiver.
Your thoughts.
He's a wide receiver 5 for fantasy, maybe.
Yeah. And I would go Everett over Juwan Johnson.
Everett's on bye this week, so you need contingency. You need contingency plans, Jonathan, because Everett's on bye. Juwan Johnson is on the injury report. Yeah. You need to find a healthy pivot on the waiver wire. I don't care who it is, but be prepared to fire up like just a warm body if you're down to slim pickings at tight end, because Everett is Everett's on bye. Juwan very well could be ruled out for this game.
And Val's the GOAT. First thing, depending on what your options are at being able to be fluid at quarterback, I would drop Russell Wilson.
Yeah, drop Russ.
And then if you're dead set on trading Saquon to just get better everywhere else, if you're looking at a wide receiver, if you're looking at something like that, just because you can't rely on Hollywood. Sutton is a little bit volatile because then you won't have the stack anymore with Russ because Russ isn't good. Gabe Davis is a good wide receiver too, but Bateman you haven't been able to rely on Bateman as a wide receiver 3, so you're gonna need to. I mean, with Saquon, you can ask for not Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. You can ask for Stephon Diggs.
Right.
You can ask for Devonta Adams. That's the type of guy that you have in your hands with Saquon. Now, going from having Saquon at RB1 to Najee, Zeke, Algier.
Yeah, you need like
maybe you go second tier wide receiver and a running back.
Yeah, I would need two really good pieces.
In this case, I'm hoping for something like Amon-Ra St. Brown and Brian Robinson. But again, a little bit better than Brian Robinson.
Michael Carter.
Yeah, something like that. Something equitable to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Michael Carter.
Yeah. Even then, that might be too low.
That is too low. Yeah.
That might be too low, honestly. Yeah. Saquon's hard to move because he's a top 3 running back. So get a, ask for a player of Amon-Ra's caliber and a really good running back. It's hard to trade him.
Yeah, like Miles Sanders and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Ask for something good. Yeah, sure.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But sideline star.
Yep.
Do you expect Hollywood Brown to be a factor in the fantasy playoffs? Yes, but not to the extent that he was earlier in the year.
I mean, it's a long-term injury. It's going to hold him out for at least another month. We'll see. He's got about he got injured in week 5, or was it week 6? It was week 6, I think. It was week 6 he got hurt because it was like, this is the last week Hollywood Brown is without DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, it was week 6 that Hollywood got hurt. So, he's 1 week removed from the injury. He's probably out another, say, 4 or 5 weeks. Let's just say he's out 6 weeks in total. That puts us at week 12. Then he's got 2 games before the fantasy playoffs. This is like a best case timeline. Maybe. Honestly, if you have him and you need wins, you should be trying to talk to people in your league with better records, and coaxing them like, hey, here's a nice stash for the fantasy playoffs because you're sitting pretty right now.
Yeah.
Like I'll take a discount to get guys who can help me now. I'm only hoping on Hollywood. The only scenario right now where I hope I have Hollywood is if I'm 6-0, I'm 5-1, even 4-2. At least it's like, all right, at least I know that I'm in good shape otherwise based on my record right now, and I have a team that I feel good about. Getting Hollywood back would be icing on the cake, but at this point I might not be I'm not dependent on him. That's the only scenario where I'm like, I feel okay about Hollywood. Otherwise, I'm trying to unload. It's going to be a really short turnaround for him to get back up to speed. Like John mentioned, the Hollywood that you would hope to have in your starting lineup, you might not have that.
Yep. And blurry face, I would absolutely do that. Higgins is a top 12 wide receiver, even with Chase. Without Chase, he's a top 6 wide receiver.
Sure.
And Metcalf, I love the upside. Judy, love the prospect, but neither of those players have been able to put it together and for sustained success this year. And Metcalf, I believe, is hurt. So
he is, and he's Higgins. Not expected to play this week. He's not expected to play tomorrow.
Brian Pereira, is Alec Pierce someone to still hold on to for Ben's purposes? Yeah.
Sure, for at least a little while, for at least a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but don't be afraid to cut him.
Yeah, I mean, we got to see what Ehlinger looks like. It's it's a good first matchup for him. He's at home against Washington, so that's a cushy situation. You hope to see him play well. Let's see how he does.
And I don't think we're at the point where we're playing him over Dak with Sam Ehlinger. We really need to see it first. You might not have a ton of faith in Dak, but he's still a top 12 quarterback. You can't say that for Ehlinger right now. So
I mean, Ehlinger will run. That's something Dak won't do. But
if he's a poor man's Justin Fields, then
we're talking about a first career start for a 6th round pick.
Right.
I know he made nice strides this year. He looked good in the preseason, right? 24, 29, right? He looked really good in the preseason. And I don't want to take anything away from him, but we see this happen every year. I mean, maybe he bucks the trend, but we see young guys play well in the preseason when there's no scheming, when there's none of that. It's just when there's no matchups to worry about. You're just coaches at this point, this day and age, are just worried about reps, right? We've seen guys in the preseason underperform after the preseason hype. So let's stick with a proven performer in Dak for at least the first week.
Yep.
Then we can pivot to Ehlinger if he exceeds expectations, which I'm thinking a fair expectations are like 15 fantasy points for him tomorrow. It would be a great scenario.
Yeah.
15 fantasy points would be a great scenario for Ehlinger. But let's let him prove he can do that before we fire him up.
And Dameon Pierce or Pollard in the flex.
Damn.
I mean,
both are high floors, I would
Pierce,
say.
But man, I'm trying to get who are your running backs?
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly a situation that could have developed if you drafted well. It's not inconceivable that you have like Saquon, Etienne, Kenneth Walker, and Tony Pollard. That's not inconceivable. I mean, I would say both have high floors. I would say Pollard has the higher ceiling, being probably in the more reliable offense. Both are really good. If you think if you want that little extra potential for a ceiling play, I would probably play Pollard. Can't go wrong with either one. Both have high floors.
Yep.
And locked in big workloads. Both should perform tomorrow.
And I really love the idea of playing Tyler Boyd, but I'm playing Amari Cooper over him.
Yeah, I'll play Amari Cooper over him just because he is his team's wide receiver 1. Boyd is very good and has been performing even with Jamar Chase on the field, but he's not his team's wide receiver 1. He's attached to a much better quarterback. So if you prefer, if you just like the guy that's like, I just like the dudes attached to the good quarterbacks on the good offenses, then that's your argument for Boyd. But Cooper is a bona fide wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
And his team's clear wide receiver 1.
And has been performing like a low-end wide receiver 1, even with Brissett.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's almost kind of a floor ceiling issue, but you're talking about a wide receiver 1 floor or an elite wide receiver 1 ceiling with Tyler Boyd. So if you need the absolute moonshot week, Tyler Boyd, I guess. But if you're just anything outside of that, anything outside of a extreme long shot, Amari Cooper.
Sure. Yeah.
And New Jeru's, we disagree. We'll see.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll see. Russ has given me no reason to believe, but we'll see.
And Mike, start everybody but Ayuk.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean,
Ayuk's been good, but I'm starting everybody. Or Michael Pittman with the.
I mean,
I just see Pittman and it's like.
There's no Debo.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's like everybody but Pittman. Sorry, I see Pittman and I'm still like, all right, he's set wide receiver 2. I gotta readjust. Gabe Davis, Ayuk, Boyd is fine for this week, and then Benjamin in the flex.
You can go back to the well with Pittman for 1 week if you want to, but
he's just not an absolute start if you have a good swerve.
Pittman might be more of a floor. Now we always talk about young backup quarterbacks hyper targeting their top options, so that could mean good things for Pittman as far as target share.
But who's to say that Ellinger is anywhere as good as Jacoby Brissett?
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna find out tomorrow where Ellinger is at. As
right,
far as his
I would just go Gabe, Ayuk, and Boyd. I misspoke when I first read it, but yeah, Gabe Davis, Ayuk, and Boyd, and then Eno Benjamin
in the flex.
Yep.
Yeah. Ayuk will see probably Jalen Ramsey tomorrow, but Ayuk has actually been performing pretty well the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he has.
Now with Debo, I mean, more work.
And we've been saying start him every week on our live streams. So.
Yeah. All right, that's fine. The final four, so to speak. The latter four.
Yeah.
Mike. There you go.
Hurst over Pitts. I mean,
I wouldn't drop Pitts.
Yeah, I'm playing Hurst over Pitts.
But I'm playing Hurst over him. I'm not dropping Pitts, but I'm not playing him right now.
No.
Yeah.
I may never drop Pitts just because I know what Pitts is, but and it's just insane that it's not working like it was last year. But Zachary. 12-man PPR redraft Swift and Jamal for Kenneth Walker and AJ Dillon. Yes.
I was gonna say sure. If you
because you diversify the backfield with having Swift and Jamal, it's great, but you're taking up a bench spot with somebody who only works if Swift gets hurt, right? So yes, it's a 1-for-1 swap, but there is a world in which both Kenneth Walker and AJ Dillon are startable if anything were to happen to Aaron Jones, or if that offense just starts running through AJ Dillon a little bit more. Then you have two startable guys. So I'd rather have the two startable guys, or potential at least. Mm-hmm. And Kenneth Walker's been performing like we hoped Swift would, so why not?
Sure. Yeah, I'm fine with that. If I'm acquiring Walker, then yes.
And should I start Paris Campbell, Traquan Smith, Alec Pierce, or Slayton?
Yes, this is kind of where that Traquan Smith thing kind of comes into play. I mean, it's hard to Campbell and Pierce have been pretty good.
Slayton? Slayton had a decent week not too long ago. Are we counting out Slayton?
What's he done recently? I know he had one good week. Did he have two?
Last week he scored a touchdown. 6 targets.
3
At least 6 targets in 2 out of the last 3 games.
Yeah.
They're not getting any help. They just traded away Kadarius. Like, he's going to be out there.
Yeah. I guess you could play
People
Slayton.
have been running it up against the Seahawks because the Seahawks have been putting up points no matter who's out there at wide receiver.
Yep.
I think the sneaky person to play here is Slayton. Out of these options this week, until we know more about Ellinger, I'm still not. I've never been in on Traquan Smith. He's one of those guys where it seems like he produces one week and then he's fool's gold the next.
He's a little hard to trust.
And you could say the same thing for Slayton, but at least Slayton had one season where he was promising with this quarterback.
Yeah.
Traquan Smith hasn't even had that. And Joller, the 49ers are looking to trade Jeff Wilson. Interesting.
So that was a report. So we'll see. That was about McCaffrey versus Chubb. I mean, So we'll see what Tuesday is the deadline. Ooh, that's gonna be a fun show. This Tuesday is gonna be a fun show because that's the trade deadline. We'll see what happens.
And Pickens or Robinson? Pickens. Tua or Carr? Just doing these rapid fire. Tua or Carr? Tua.
Sure.
What do you think? I'm going Pickens and Tua.
I'll play the better weapons. And then he's on the road against Detroit. Great matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. And Pickens, I mean, it's hard to trust the Steelers, but he seems to be Pickett's favorite guy. And they should have to throw a lot once again in a matchup against the Eagles.
And Anthony Ramos, I mean, Wandale has had 2 good weeks. I'll give him that. But just like with Alec Pierce, I need to see 3 good weeks before I'm in on starting you. And even then, you can burn me like Alec Pierce just did coming off of 3 good weeks. So I'm going Sutton with Russell Wilson back, and I'm going Henderson over Wan'Dale Robinson this week. If I have to choose one, safe
Sutton.
play Henderson, man. Ceiling
Upside
play
is
Sutton.
Yeah.
And what do you think about the rankings for these tight ends down here?
I like Irv. I do. I don't like Irv every week, but I like any tight end who's going against the Arizona Cardinals. That is the motto for me for any time I see a tight end going against the Cardinals, not just this season, but just like in general. It always seems like they're so bad against the tight ends, and they are again this year. They're bottom three as far as production allowed, like top three, as far as production allowed to opposing tight ends. They can't cover them. Minnesota's at home. I feel fine about rolling the dice on Irv getting a shot. So I would put him first. I would put Taysom Hill second, and I would put Pitts third. The only reason, well, not the only reason, but one of the reasons I have Hill second is because Juwan Johnson and Adam Troutman, at least for now, are both still questionable. Neither have officially been ruled out yet.
Fair.
So Irv, Taysom, Pitts. If both Juwan and Troutman are ruled out, and I know neither one of those guys necessarily need to be ruled out for Taysom to have an impact, but naturally you feel better about it. If both of those guys, or at least one of them, is ruled out, then it's more of a toss-up for me. Pitts, unfortunately, here is an easy third.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. Trey S, evening
What's
to you
up, Trey?
too. Full PPR. Bench 1, Olave, Devonta Smith, or ETN. I love Devonta Smith, but out of these three, I'm benching Devonta Smith.
I guess it's got to be Devontae. Yeah. ETN has RB1 upside. Olave has wide receiver 1 upside. Not overall, but just they should both be in the top 12.
And Tim Shields, do I pick up Wan'Dale Robinson and drop Jacoby Myers, or play Samuel to replace Chase?
I would play Samuel. I would just play Curtis Samuel, who did okay last week, even with Taylor Heineke in there. Myers, I like Myers, but the Jets are pretty stingy on defense. Sauce Gardner looks damn good. The Patriots look not good on offense. And again, with Wan'Dale, it's just, I know he's had a couple of nice performances, but Samuel has been rock solid all season. So I'll just keep that guy.
Yeah, and I read that question wrong, but yeah, I would play Samuel.
Yeah.
Val's the GOAT. Would you be...
if you're going to trade Saquon, let's ask for top dollar. Really good running back and a really good receiver. Anything less doesn't get it done. I know you're hurting for pieces right now, but...
I'm trying to get somebody of Amon-Ra St. Brown's caliber, and then somebody
Sanders,
along the lines of Sanders, a little bit better than a Michael Carter. I don't know if you're getting ETN.
You could try,
but
Saquon is worth.
You deserve to be able to get ETN, but I don't know if people are gonna do that. But it may be like an Aaron Jones. Honestly, right now, like a Dalvin Cook.
Ask for a good running back and a good receiver. This is Saquon Barkley we're talking about.
Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Dalvin Cook for Saquon. I mean, it might be shooting high, but look at what Dalvin Cook's been giving you. But you still at least get an RB1 candidate. So,
yeah.
Something like that. Shoot for the moon. You're dealing the best asset.
Yep.
And Sideline Star, you are very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, glad we could help.
Ignatius, ETN, and Walker. Also lost Brees and Javonte. Got you. That was just in comments, Star.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, Pierce is fine. Yeah, you're loaded at run. I think I named
ETN and Walker.
Nicely done drafting running backs this year. That worked out very well for you.
Yeah. Eric, nice. You're 6-1 and was offered Chase and Andrews for Diggs and Metcalf. Do you take this?
Who are your other receivers who you'd be relying on for while Chase is out? Because you're giving up the wide receiver 1. I don't think. See, here's the thing. If everybody was healthy in this picture, then yes. But Andrews isn't healthy right now, and Chase isn't healthy right now. You can't. If the person who has Chase is still asking for top dollar. I don't blame them, but I can't match that offer right now because he's going to be out for a minimum of 3 weeks, and it's a hip injury. Hips and knees, man, they are the toilets of the human body. Like they are weird. The injury recovery for both of them can be wonky, can be difficult to trust. Jamar Chase is now, what is he, 21, 22 years old? So are we worried about
He's
any
22.
type of...
Yeah.
Are we worried about this like we would be if he was 29, 30 years old? No, of course not. But he's still not healthy, and Stephon Diggs is the overall wide receiver 1. I don't think you can ask for that for Chase right now.
No, I mean, if you're 6-1, keep it rolling with your squad. You don't have to make any
guys that have
changes.
Been working it for you. I like, I would see if you could do Metcalf and maybe a depth of running back for Chase. That's what I would try to do. Don't give up Diggs. He's your key cog for why you're 6-1.
Yeah.
Ask for Chase, offer Metcalf and a running back.
Sure.
Do that.
Trey S, Tua or Dak rest of season. It's Dak. But it's close.
I would say Tua. Better weapons, and Dak is. I mean, neither one of these guys are a very big threat to run, but I think Tua gives you just a little extra upside there.
Yeah, he does come with that 50-point week.
Tua. He's just got.
But he has that buoying his stats. To be honest with you,
I think I would say Tua.
Honestly, I think they're pretty close.
They're close.
Jason Manua. Not
What's
sure
up,
if you
Jason?
answered this question yet. Cortland Sutton or Michael Pittman have PPR wide receiver 3. Cortland Sutton this week.
Yeah,
Cortland
for this
Sutton
week, since you have Sutton and he's been better with Russ playing and Russ is back this week, Pittman is catching passes from Sam Ehlinger, who is an unknown, who we don't know right now, and we don't know how effective he will be. So go with Sutton, who at least gets his quarterback back. Not that that's the best thing in the world, but for Sutton, it's better news than the rest of the Denver offense.
Yeah. And D. Lenny, good to see you. If Lockett and DK sit, do we pivot to Goff? Yeah, I mean, he's playing Miami.
Do you mean off of Geno? Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would play Goff over PJ Walker.
Yep, I would too.
Yeah.
Goff.
At home. Goff plays better at home in the Dome. I think he's got his full complement of pass catchers, including DeAndre Swift. He doesn't have JMO, but as far as his week 1 options who are available, he's got his guys. Hawkinson's in there. Amon-Ra's in there. DeAndre Swift is in there. I don't know if DJ Chark is healthy, but
no, he's not. He's on IR.
Well, Reynolds and Khalif Raymond are in there for additional depth. Goff is fine at home in the Dome. Could be a shootout. Yeah, I'm fine with Goff. And I agree about Cooks and Claypool. I would caution anybody whose name has popped up in trade rumors. I would tread lightly with those players. Do we expect all of them to sit? No. I mean, some of these guys are going to play. It's good. It's hard to tell though who, because we don't know how far along trade talks are with any given player.
Right.
So yeah, it is a huge roll of the dice. To play Chase Claypool, to play Brandon Cooks, to play Jerry Jeudy, to play Kareem Hunt. To play Kareem Hunt. It's a tough call. I would tread call if it's one of those names, or
just be prepared to 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Tune into us tomorrow morning. And then if anything changes by 1 o'clock, we'll be able to let you know. The best thing to do with these two guys is to stay fluid with the situations. Considering...
Are we going live tomorrow? There is a London game.
I mean, I was going to go live
tomorrow. It's on ESPN Plus. Yeah, okay. All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
The thing is, these guys might be active. They might be James Robinson was active for the game last week.
They're without Nico Collins. They need him.
Who cooks? You talking about Houston?
Yeah.
I mean, do they? They're tanking. Do they need him? They might look at this and be
again,
like,
let's
take this L and get
the
good
players on the
quarterback.
field and the coaches are playing for something different than the GM.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I think Cooks is trying to win as many games as he can. Does he want to get traded a little more? Probably. But then if he goes to Aaron Rodgers, imagine if Cooks goes and plays with Aaron Rodgers. Just think about the quarterbacks. Has any wide receiver have ever had better quarterback played throughout his career? Drew Brees, Tom Brady, pre-scandal Deshaun Watson,
Sean McVay,
Goff.
Rams.
Yeah, Sean McVay Rams with Goff in his prime Goff, if that's the thing.
His best season.
Yeah,
his one really good season.
Yeah. I just think, and then Davis Mills, and then he goes from Davis Mills to Aaron Rodgers, something like that. I just think that's cool.
That'd be good.
That'd be cool. But Zachary Hugh, who should I be stashing, Kyren Williams or Elijah Mitchell? I would stash Kyren Williams because he at least has some upside. CMC was brought in to get a stranglehold on that job. Yeah. I don't think Elijah Mitchell's really going to be coming in and mixing in all that much. There's really only Darrell Henderson ahead of Kyren Williams, and I would say that Darrell Henderson has far from a lock on the role rest of season. Mm-hmm. So Kyren Williams, solid stash.
Yep, agreed.
Anthony Ramos, should I pick up Irv Smith from waivers and drop Hill? If you believe in Irv Smith like Nick does, sure.
I'm fine with him. I would be fine with that. I like Irv this week. Again, I like any offense, or I like any tight end against Arizona.
Yeah.
And at home, I'm fine with that, Anthony.
I think Hill does have some upside this week too, but if you believe in Irv, then go for it.
Yeah.
Eric,
are these ancillary pieces you could try to offer for Chase? I mean, I don't know. That like Metcalf and I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Logan Hampton, league payout week to guys in the second running back slot in this flex spot combined. That's an interesting format.
Interesting.
Who should be your two between Dalvin, Etienne, and Pollard this week? Etienne and Pollard, man.
Yeah, They
got the ceiling.
Man. Cook's at. Yeah, those guys have this. I mean, Cook does too. He's at home. Anytime Dalvin Cook is at home, he averages 100 yards.
Is he a tight end?
Scrimmage. Huh?
Is he a tight end?
Dalvin
Pure
Cook?
logic against playing tight ends against Arizona.
Oh no, he's not the tight end, but he is at home. I mean,
Travis Etienne, Denver. Tony Pollard is a must start for me against Chicago, so you're starting Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But I think I'm going Etienne because I think he presents a little bit more upside.
I might actually go Dalvin.
Would you?
As somebody, and I've been a guy who's been saying trade Dalvin if you have him, but at home, he averages for his career, he averages 100 yards from scrimmage at home. It's kind of like the Devontae Adams when he was with the Packers.
No, he's been pretty consistent this year.
I
guess I haven't been paying attention to what he's been doing this year. He's been pretty consistent.
At home, Dalvin Cook is pretty money.
Only one boom week, but consistent 15 points.
Right, he's been pretty money at home. Like you can rely on him when he plays at home.
Yeah, I guess it's Pollard and Cook then.
I think I would go Pollard and Dalvin Cook. I love Etienne, but I think in this scenario I'll play Dalvin at home. If he was on the road, Etienne, no question. Etienne, who is on the road, it's a neutral game, but it's out in London. I mean, give me Dalvin Cook. Give me Tony Pollard with no Zeke.
An MT he used to be.
Yeah, not anymore.
Alex Contreras, Ayuk and Jacobs for Henry and Connor.
No.
I would not do that.
No, I don't want James Conner.
Half PPR, your running backs, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no.
I just wouldn't do that trade.
Ayuk is like Debo is out with a hamstring. It could just be a 1 week thing, but still, Jacobs is playing. Henry and Jacobs are pretty much like 1 for 1. Henry's probably still an edge over Jacobs, but Connor's not healthy, and Ayuk has been pretty good. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. You still have Mixon, you have Dillon, you have Eno Benjamin. No, you already have the Cardinals running back that's worth rostering. Yeah, no, keep what you have.
Yep. And Patrick, what do you guys think of my remaining matchup? I have Hurts, Foreman, Diggs, Jefferson, Ertz, Kirk, AJ Brown, Colts D. I like that squad.
Pretty good.
I like that lineup.
Looks
hard
pretty
to poke
good.
holes in that, and so I'd say you got a chance, especially with him starting Devonta Smith, so that only helps you whenever Devonta Smith goes off.
He has Jones and Chubb, but your wide receivers are way better. Yeah, you're good, Patrick.
You're good.
Yeah, you're fine.
And he's starting Lockett. Yeah, you're better. You're better.
You're fine. And Evan Ingram.
D. Lenny, Vikings and Packers most interested in Claypool. Rams and Giants most interested in Cooks.
I've seen that. I mean,
we'll see what gets done.
Tuesday's going to be fun. Tuesday's going to be fun. If any news breaks during the day as far as trades, or obviously between now and then, you can obviously look. We'll look to get a short out if we think the move requires a little bit more attention, whether that's in the form of a recorded video or
crazy,
even a live.
We might just go live. We might go live early.
Yeah, it could be an impromptu live stream. I did that with Christian McCaffrey, good old late night stream, but we still did it. So if a big thing happens, that goes down, we'll put something out for it. Otherwise, we can respond to anything with shorts as far as a rapid reaction between now and Tuesday. Should be an active few days for the NFL. So it's a day that ends in Y.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
And Patrick, you have Thielen and Irv Smith. That might get switched.
Nah, you've got Diggs. Yeah, you're fine. Nah,
not Irv, and I don't think you need to worry about it. No, don't worry about it.
Not over Ertz. You're good.
Keep your lineup.
Yeah.
And D. Lenny, I would if I was Cooks too.
Yeah, I mean, what
Cooks has been
doesn't make sense
in basically hell in terms of what you're talking about for NFL teams. You were on the worst team for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
2.5 seasons.
He's what, 28,
he didn't
29?
go to the Texans to be that. He went to the Texans to be on a great offense who was going to the playoffs every year.
Right. That didn't happen. So,
no.
Yeah. I mean, he's 28, 29 years old. I mean, young teams shouldn't have interest in acquiring him. It's a two-way. Right. Packers make sense. Like, there's plenty of teams that make sense. Teams that are not contenders are obviously not. They don't fulfill. That's not happening. They have their receivers.
Nah, but back in the day, what did they want? They wanted a Smokey Brown type.
They don't have the cap space. They would need Houston.
The cap is fake. The cap doesn't matter. Just pull some Rams bullshit and keep him.
During the season, it does.
Yeah, D. Lenny, it does feel like a Taysom week. And Anthony, we appreciate you, man. Thank you. Good luck this week to you too.
Good luck.
It does kind of feel like a Taysom week, but if you believe in Irv is the safe money, but there's upside there too. If you really want to go balls to the wall and hope for a 20-point week from the tight end position, Taysom Hill does offer that.
Yep.
And a crazier, would you rather have Swift or Kamara rest of season full PPR? Swift or Kamara? I mean, they're pretty close.
I guess Kamara
has a better
recently.
Has a better I think playoff schedule. I think the Saints have a decent. Let me pull that up.
I guess I would go Kamara. I mean, with the missed time
Atlanta, Cleveland, Thomas. Philadelphia, Carolina. So,
I mean,
Philadelphia is not what you want to see for the championship matchup, but the two before it are pretty juicy.
There first.
Yeah.
I would probably say Kamara. Just because, I mean, he should be force-fed all the work he can handle. Michael Thomas out, Jarvis Landry out. They're both missing like their 5th straight games. And Swift himself has missed a good amount of time. Like, was hurt still after. I know he's coming back this week, but after the bye week, he still had to miss another game. Like, yeah.
And so Tober, I'm just gonna say real quick, don't do that. I like ETN a lot. Don't do that.
Yeah, that's, I guess, a little too many valuable pieces.
Yeah, like Stevenson and ETN, they play different styles, but they're Stevenson's been the better running back.
Yeah.
And Val's the GOAT. Says you look like Ant-Man with glasses. And
Paul Rudd,
thoughts
so
on Hurst this week and rest of the season. Yeah, that's a compliment, I guess.
Paul Rudd wasn't it last year or 2 years ago? Paul Rudd was named is it Rolling Stone? Who does the Sexiest Man Alive magazine thing?
I don't know that shit.
I don't know who did it, but Paul Rudd was named that. So appreciate it.
Thoughts on Hurst this week and rest of season?
Yeah, I mean,
solid
for the
tight
short
end,
term, he's
low
a
end tight end one.
For the short term, he's a tight end one. For the long term, he's maybe like low end tight end one.
Yeah.
But no Jamar Chase. That's a massive target share that needs to get redistributed. So wheels up on Hurst for the short term.
And DJ Duvernay, I think just talent tier break. You're starting Hopkins.
You're starting DeAndre Hopkins.
Love Foreman this week, but you're starting Hopkins.
You're starting DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. And Patrick, hey, thank you, and we'll see you next
time,
man.
Thanks for coming in.
And we are at the end of the chat here. We're not done by any means. We still got a little bit of time. We were planning on dipping at 8 o'clock because Nick has to watch baseball.
I have
to. But yeah, I mean we're
we can take a few more questions, and then obviously if anybody has anything that comes up later,
we
can check it out.
I was just gonna shout out we got members only offerings. If you guys are interested in 99 cents a month, for 99 cents a month, you get 2 extra streams with us a week on Wednesday and Thursday. It's our practice squad offering, and then it scales up from there. But if you guys are interested in being a member of the channel, it's the second link in the description. If you guys are not part of our Discord, third link in the description. Free evergreen invite. So come through, join our Discord. Great little community growing there. But back to the questions.
Yep.
Cali Loco, Brian Robinson, or Mooney full PPR? Brian Robinson floor, Mooney ceiling.
Yeah, if you need, boring floor play with a little bit of upside, but maybe not a ton of upside is Robinson. Mooney higher upside, floor of like 3 or 4 points, 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, and I'm not willing to go in on Raheem Blackshear yet, man.
I mean, Chuba had a nice game, so maybe Blackshear sees 8 touches, 6 to 8 touches. I think Foreman's going to get a lot of work this week. But no Chuba, so again, the Panthers are in officially evaluation mode. They might give him a few looks or a few extra looks. If he gets 10 touches, I would be happy for him, but also a little surprised.
Yeah.
But in DFS, like if you load up on wide receivers and you need a punt play at running back, sure. In full PPR, catch some passes, sure.
And Sotober, I would rather stash AJ Dillon, but it's close.
It's got to be. It still has to be Dillon. But White is taking 7, 8, 9, 10 looks from Fournette on a weekly basis now.
But still that Bucks running game just looks terrible. Continues to average the least yards per carry in the league. Like it's not good there. So even if there is a changing of the guard, I like Rachaad White, the prospect. I don't know if he can overcome that O-line in the way that offense is operating right now.
Yeah.
But Joller, do you think Keenan Allen is going to come back strong? I mean, I think he's going to be fine. It really depends on how Herbert is, because Herbert's been struggling this season.
Yeah, the rib injury is limiting him, and he's been checking it down a lot more than you would expect him to going into the season. So I think if you expect Keenan Allen to continue to do what he does, work a lot in the short and intermediate game, he should be fine.
Yep,
he should be fine. I would expect high wide receiver 2 numbers as long as he's off the injury report each week. If he's on and off, then it's like he's going to be tough to trust. But if he's fully healthy from the injury, he's top 15 upside, top 12 without Mike Williams for the next month.
And Fantasy Realist, you got Kamara, Swift, ETN, and Stevenson, pick 3. Kamara, Swift, and Stevenson.
I want to get ETN. Kamara's got to be in there because it's Kamara. Man, I guess you're firing up DeAndre Swift. You drafted him in the second round.
Denver versus Jets.
I think Stevenson has a slightly better matchup, but Damian Harris is not, is another week removed from the injury. ETN has the backfield to himself, but it's a tough matchup. ETN, so I think both of ETN and Stevenson have very strong floors. This is not a situation where you're concerned that one guy might bust and one guy might boom. I think both guys are in for good games. I would say Stevenson is a high floor play with RB2 upside. He's got RB1 upside, but realistically, if Harris is healthy, it might be more like high RB2 upside. ETN has a high
25 points in
RB1
back-to-back
upside.
weeks. I think Ty goes to the runner for me. I know ETN's coming off of a strong week, and you can spin the narrative for him, but Ramondre Stevenson is the RB8 in PPR leagues and the RB9 in standard, and I know some of that is due to, no Damian Harris, and when Damian Harris is in the game, oh no, he only has 20-point upside like he showed in week 3. 19-point upside like he showed in week 5. Oh no. I think I'm just going with Ramondre because it seems like smart money at this point.
All right. It's fine.
Alex Contreras, pick 1. Alec Pierce, Tyler Algier, Greg Dulcich, or Metcalf if he plays. Well, Metcalf if he plays, but if he doesn't play,
sounds like he's not gonna play.
Algier.
Well, if you want to wait for Metcalf, then you have to play. Then you have to be prepared to pivot to Pierce because Metcalf and Pierce play in the late window. That being said, it sounds like Metcalf is a long shot to play. I wouldn't roll the dice on him. I would. If you could, I would probably just fire up Algier.
Late window, but we might hear about it earlier.
We might know earlier, but if we don't, I think I would just play Algier. I think I would just play Algier to hope for the running back to hope he falls into the end zone, get you 10 points. Pierce with Ellinger, we got to see it. Dulcich, I'll take a shot on a running back on a team that wants to run the ball. And they're at home.
And Homer Simpson, should I trade Deontay for Kareem Hunt? I mean, worst case, what he gets traded, and the team that buys him utilizes him, or he stays put and offers you basically the same fantasy value that Deontay has been for the past 6 to 7 games.
Yeah.
Yes, Claypool might move on, which would open up more targets for Deontay. But Kareem Hunt has theoretical upside in his future too. If he goes elsewhere,
I would just say if you feel like you're fine at wide receiver, if you feel like you're strong at wide receiver, then sure.
Yep.
Never opposed to some running back depth.
Tim Shields, Gibson or B-Rob?
Gibson ceiling, B-Rob floor.
Yeah. That's the way we got to play it now.
With potentially a bad floor of 3 or 4, B-Rob might give you 7 or 8.
And in standard edge B-Rob, but
sure.
And Eno and Foreman.
Eno or Foreman. I'll say
man.
I think Foreman again. They're both set up in really good spots. I'll go with the guy who, I guess it's a little bit more of an unknown. Eno has not performed as well this year on the road, and he's on as he has at home. So I'll roll the dice on Foreman.
How many? What's the sample size?
I mean, just this season.
Yeah, but what's the sample size of him having the role to himself and being on the road?
So last week he had a great game. That was at home. The week prior, on the road in Seattle, great matchup. Had the backfield to himself. 15 carries for 37 yards, 3 catches for 28 yards. So he totaled 60 yards from scrimmage. But it was a flex play.
And then the week before that, I'm looking at it. All right, Philadelphia.
But that was at home. 8 for 25. Didn't no, that's nothing. But he got into the end zone and then again caught 3 passes for 28 yards for a nice little like.
I don't know if that sample size is something I'm willing to ride behind quite yet, but I see it. I don't know yet.
So are you saying Eno?
Look, Foreman's going to be good too this week. And against ATL, it's not like they're playing up against very tough competition that's going to take them out of the game plan.
I guess I would say the concern
Foreman's going to be...
The concern I would have for Foreman would be, is Atlanta able to play the ball control style offense that they very clearly want to play, therefore fewer plays and opportunities for the Carolina offense? That would be like the concern for Foreman. I mean,
Minnesota's the better matchup versus running backs.
Yeah, so tougher matchup.
Giving you an extra 2 points a game for what that's worth.
I would say both have decent floors. Foreman maybe has a stronger floor. Eno has a stronger ceiling, but a lower floor.
Agreed. And D. Linney, you love finding those sleepers, man. He could be. We could see. See.
I mean, Jawan Jennings is questionable. Obviously, Debo is out. Yeah, I mean, could be a decent, punt play for wide receiver. I just don't know if. Here's the thing, D. Linney. You could go ahead and do me a solid, or you don't have to, but even if you want to for your own research purposes, Jimmy G recently against the Rams. I don't think he's thrown for more than one. Maybe he has a 2 touchdown game in there his past 3 or 4 matchups. The playoff game, I think he put up some decent numbers, but in the regular season, Jimmy G's numbers against the Rams over the recent matchups have been so pedestrian or below average. It's just hard to put a ton of stock in Jimmy G in this matchup.
There you go.
With no Debo.
And so, Tober, I'm playing Daniel Jones, who's been great this year. I'm not like
Daniel
Malik
Jones.
Willis, just like Sam Ellinger. I'm waiting to see first before I'm willing to play him. I know he has theoretical upside because of the running, and that's what you maybe stashed him or drafted him for or picked him up for. But Daniel Jones has rushing upside, has been doing it this year. I think you roll with what the guy that you know has been performing well and wait and see on Malik Willis first.
Yeah.
Val's the GOAT. Should I trade Saquon for Dalvin and A.J. Brown? I would do that.
I would want a running back who doesn't have shoulder separation concerns.
But I mean, that's about the value, man. That's good value.
That's a good return. Dalvin and A.J. Brown, okay, yeah. But I might try to turn Dalvin Cook into a running back, to maybe 2 RB2s.
Yeah, and then make that deal. And then see if you can package Cook and something else that's on your bench to upgrade incrementally.
ETN? Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker. See if you can get Cook and package Cook with something for Kenneth Walker or something like that once you make that deal. Because then you basically got A.J. Brown for free.
Or just try Saquon for Walker and whoever that team's wide receiver 1 is. Yeah. You might need to throw in an extra piece for that.
I don't. Maybe that doesn't get it done, but we'll see.
But it would be, because it's Saquon, it could be the last guy on your bench.
Could be, but with Kenneth Walker hype being that sky high, and you're asking for a wide receiver 1, I think you need to stoop down to get Dalvin, and then trade back up from Dalvin and maximize it. Because you're getting A.J. Brown for basically free. You're moving another bench player with Dalvin to get a better running back. Maybe that ends up being Walker. I just think that's a winning two move chess move. So Tober, Christian Kirk or Devonta Smith? Devonta Smith, I think.
I'll go Devonta Smith.
Kirk is safe. Devonta Smith, high upside.
He might avoid Patrick Surtain, because Kirk plays all of his snaps in the slot. Surtain is having a spectacular season he's probably having an all-pro season at cornerback this year. But I think he's more of a perimeter, a boundary corner. I don't think he goes inside that often, so Kirk might avoid him. That being said, it's a bad matchup by the numbers, and it's a great matchup for Devontae. So I'll say Devontae. Yep.
Iron, good to see you. You watched Terrifier 2 yet? In full PPR, Pollard or Gabe, pick 2, Judy, Eno, Najee.
Can you play Pollard and
Pollard?
Gabe? Or this is two different situations.
And
I mean,
then,
Pollard over Gabe, and then those two,
the 2 running backs, I think.
The 2 running backs only because...
You can't trust Judy with Russ. Russ hasn't... And Judy don't have that connection. Judy went off with Ripien.
Yeah, I was going to say the concern with Judy is also his name is involved in trade rumors.
True. But yeah, I think I would go Pollard over
Najee.
Gabe.
I would go Eno and Najee to play it safe, and Pollard over Gabe.
And which defense should Sotober start? Jets, Giants, Panthers, Jags, Bengals, Cardinals, Broncos, Commanders.
I mean, the Jets against the Patriots should be fine. That should be pretty enticing. If you are, of the mindset that the Colts could continue to struggle with Sam Ehlinger, I mean, there's two sides of this coin, right? On one hand, you got Ehlinger is a dual threat quarterback. He gives the offense a spark. The other side of the coin is it's his first career start, and he's a former 6th round pick, and we don't know where he's at in his development. The Commanders are a fine flyer. You have to be prepared for, obviously, if Ehlinger has a great start, if Ehlinger has a great game. But if you're willing to roll the dice in that scenario, Washington's a fine pivot. The Jets, I would say, are your safe bet in a matchup where...
Denver's not a bad bet either.
Denver's not bad either.
They're a top 12 option at the very least.
Denver's not bad.
Top 8 upside, but I don't know if they're the home run that you're hoping for. Yeah. But they should be steady too.
Yeah.
And Boxy Kevin, thank you very much for the super.
Thanks, Boxy.
I have to start 2 in the flex. Boyd, Davis, or Kirk?
Boyd and Davis.
Yeah, I think those first 2, man.
Boyd and Davis. I mean, Boyd has been operating. Boyd has had wide receiver 2 weeks with Jamar Chase in the mix.
Yeah.
Now he's out. So Boyd is now firmly on the wide receiver 2, strong wide receiver 2 roadmap for at least the short term, certainly this week. Against the Browns defense. Again, once again, the Browns stink on defense. They are giving up so many points. I think they've given up 20 points in every game this year. And there's been a couple of 30 burgers. The Bengals are absolutely good enough to get that. The Browns can't stop anybody through the air. Boyd's a great matchup, it's a great matchup and it's a great situation. And then Gabe at home when there's no injury concerns has a wide receiver 1 outlook.
Yeah,
when
he's
not on
a
the
wide
injury
receiver
report,
with 30-point upside, 2 touchdowns and 171 yards on 8 targets or something. He did that week 2 or whatever. I mean, he can do that. So
yeah.
Xavier Dubs, Titans are Commies D this week. I think I'm going Titans, but the Commies aren't a bad option.
Yeah, I might go Washington.
I mean, yeah, against Ehlinger it's enticing, but I mean, Davis
Houston.
Mills, no Brandon Cooks, no Nico Collins.
We don't know Brandon Cooks is out yet, but
yeah, but even if it's Brandon Cooks, then the offense knows he's getting the ball 18 times.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Davis Mills has been bad. He's almost. I mean.
Yeah, he hasn't been very good.
Yeah. So either way, this. But we're split there. We're split.
Did we miss? I think we missed a Cali question.
Yes, I'm sorry about that, Callie. Got offered Donta Foreman and JK for Dak, half PPR.
No, God, no.
No.
In one quarterback, no. Or is this in Superflex? Like, all right, fine. In one quarterback, no way.
Agreed.
It might be Superflex. If that's the case, as long as your running backs are solid, then sure. I don't know if I trust Dalton. Gino, yes. Dalton, I don't know.
Boxy Kevin, is Amari Cooper a safe start as a wide receiver 2? Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
He's a low-end wide receiver 1.
Yeah, if you have Boyd, Davis, and Amari Cooper, that's good. You're good.
And Iron, I start at Bateman, too. I feel your pain.
I mean, it's hard. Look.
We said he was at least I said he was a boomer bust wide receiver 3, and he gave you the bust week.
Yeah, if he's active,
he's
a dude that, unless your wide receivers are loaded, it was worth taking a chance on it. It just didn't happen.
Yeah. But Val's the GOAT. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Wow.
Good.
Coffee. Should I trade Geno, Saquon, and Sutton for Gabe Davis, Sutton or Gabe Davis for Lamar, Swift, D-Hop, or A.J. Brown? I'm down with trying to get from Geno to Lamar. Going from Saquon to Swift to get there,
that's
fine.
a downgrade.
But then you need to upgrade from Sutton to A.J. Brown.
Or D-Hop.
Yeah, either. But make it Sutton, don't make it Gabe Davis.
Make it Sutton, keep Gabe, and then honestly, between Hopkins and AJ, it's a personal preference thing. Yeah. If you can keep Gabe, move Sutton in that deal, then I'm fine with it. And then whichever, D-Hop or AJ.
Edge Brown because of the youth and the hotter offense.
Sure.
But
yeah, but both are fine.
Yep.
I guess a slight edge to AJ, but both would be fine.
Cardi, should I trade Dak, ETN, and Thielen for Mahomes and Swift? Yeah. Yes.
If you have Eckler and Pierce, sure.
Yes, I'm willing to do that.
Sure.
Regardless of whatever. If all you need to do is give up Thielen, wide receiver 3 basically right now, to upgrade from Dak to Mahomes and ETN to Swift, I'm doing that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I hope there's like a decent running back that you can stash on the waivers since you're freeing up a roster spot, but there should be like a Kyron Williams or something, hopefully. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And fan first, McLaurin or Kirk PPR. McLaurin had a week last week. I think it's Terry.
Yeah, he had a good week.
I like Kirk, and we keep saying no to Kirk. I like Kirk a lot, but
tougher matchup by the numbers.
McLaurin.
Yeah.
And we have again reached the end of the chat. And Nick did say that
I gotta head out. I got a baseball game to get to.
Right. So we will be live, or at least Nick, you can join me whenever. I'll be live at 10 a.m.
I'll be on.
I'll be live at 10 a.m. and Nick will be with me, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'll be there.
So there we go. Start sit tomorrow. So for 2 to 3 hours before the kickoff, we'll be right here with you, answering all your questions again. Thank you for chilling today. Thank you for those that gave a super Boxy Kevin. Much appreciated. Thanks again to P. Diddy for being a member for 6 months, and everybody else that have been a member for 6 months. Much appreciated. We will see you tomorrow, and have a good night. Enjoy the Phillies, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, everybody enjoy your Halloween festivities.